All right, Keith, thanks for joining us. We're excited to hear about all the industry training programs with employU.
Yeah, and I'm excited to tell you about it. Really appreciate you guys having me. Committees like you guys are really important for, we value you guys quite a bit. We feel important because, really educating all of people who, could take advantage of these services is something that we really are trying to focus a lot of attention towards because, we know there's so much demand and our company, employU, is a partner with vocational rehabilitation. We do also partner with APD. So we do we provide job coaching services through them as well. But, we're out in 44 different counties right now. We actually just signed a lease for our 23rd location. So we've been expanding, and really the main reason for our expansion is really just we find that there's a lot of need, but we also find that there's a lot of people that don't know about the services that are out there available to them. I know, as you guys probably know, vocational rehabilitation doesn't market. They don't tell anybody about what they're doing. People have to kind of find out through referrals or just kind of meeting somebody that tells them about it. So again, we really appreciate you guys allowing us to present to you today. Are you guys able to see my screen right now?
Yes, looks great.
Okay, great. So as I mentioned, we're partnered with vocational rehabilitation. We also partner with APD. We're actually the largest employment service provider in Florida for vocational rehabilitation. And we're servicing currently about 2,500 customers around there, including both our youth and adults. And the West Palm area has been a great one for us. We've started working there a couple of years ago, and we have an office right there at 400 North Congress, Suite 170, which is in the same building as vocational rehabilitation. We're just on the first floor, right across from the elevators there. So I have a video I'm gonna play for you. We put this one together somewhat recently. It's an explainer video for potential customers, really. And we have it on our website. We have actually a video library. We like doing videos, but we have a whole video library, and this is one of them there. So I'll play this for you.
When it comes to finding a job, disability doesn't mean inability. At employU, it's more than just a job search. It's about employing abilities, and we can help you discover yours. So what do? We help with job preparation, mentoring, experience, placement, and coaching to make sure you achieve success. We can help you discover your strengths, skills, and interests to get you on the right path. Where's a good place to start? As a partner with vocational rehabilitation, you will need to enroll with them first. But don't worry, we will help you through the process from start to finish. Just starting out? Great, we have a program for that. If you're in high school and have an IEP or 504 plan, our Transition Youth program is for you. Through workshops like work readiness and self-advocacy, we prepare you to enter the workforce. Our career camps and work-based learning experiences will help you explore the many career fields available to you, most of which you can get into with little to no student debt. If you're over the age of 18, we have a track for you too. Our services are designed to prepare you for the job search process. We offer pre-employment training, and your employment specialist will work with you one-on-one to build your resume, accompany you to interviews, and help you land that perfect job. It doesn't matter what stage of life you're in, we got you. We even stay with you once you're hired. Your employment specialist will ensure that the transition into your new job is seamless. They stick around for 3 to 5 months with job coaching support to make sure that you fit right in. Many of our services are virtual, which means you can get started with classes, workshops, and job coaching, all from the comfort of your own home. When you're ready to make the move to finding the job you want, your coach will be next to you every step of the way, advocating on your behalf and empowering you to do the same. Everything is easy, convenient, and personalized, so start your journey toward a rewarding career today by visiting us online at www.employu.org. We can't wait to meet you.
Okay, so that gives you a little overall view of all the services that we're providing. We do work with adults and with youth. We have a couple of people on the call with us that are working directly with our students in your area. Miss Kim Hallhuber is our awesome transition coordinator. So she works with the youth, and then her supervisor, Glenna, I'm not sure if she's actually on the call right now or not, but she's our area manager overseeing the area as well. And then we also created a relationship management team, and Jennifer Salas is our relationship management manager, and then Samantha Graham is on our team there, helping get the word out, educating folks, letting them know what we're doing so that if they're interested, they can register. And we help people with the vocational rehabilitation process, mainly because we see that rehab actually says that they've got a pretty large fall off percentage. Quite a few people that apply for services actually never actually get through the system because there is such a long wait period. So we have on our website a contact us section that people could go there and they can put in their information if they want, if it's them, for them, or there's a place to go and refer somebody if you're referring somebody to us. And that'll get to our relationship management department, who will then contact them back and help them walk through that VR process. We also have some resources that we can provide to them to help keep them engaged and interested, and just basically give them some guidance along the way, which we find is pretty important because, again, people get lost. That communication with VR sometimes isn't always the best because they just got so much going on. They can't communicate with everybody all the time. So our goal is to try to help out with that process. So just a list of different services that we provide. We do vocational and psychological evaluations, and all of it actually throughout the whole state, because we're doing them virtually, but also we do them in person. And actually in West Palm, we have a really great psychologist and also a vocational evaluation that can do them in person too. So those are really great tools to be able to provide the vocational rehabilitation counselors the right information to help them with their process, but also really develop what those job goals potentially might be. And then we have classes that we do online. We have adult classes to help them mostly with interview skills and preparing them for the employment process. But then we have youth work readiness that does a similar but different class that really prepares them more for the workforce. And then self-advocacy classes to help people really advocate for themselves and become independent. We do all kinds of stuff with career exploration in those as well. And then the career camps are really actually a lot of career exploration. We do a lot of guest speakers in most of our classes to come in and talk about their position, their career, how they got there, how much they make, what the potentials are, their day-to-day. So try to give people a really good insight of what the opportunities are there. And then for adult employment, we have job coaching, job placement, and all of our team that works with support employment will work with any customer. We've never turned down a new referral. We always want to try to grow to the demand and help out anybody that really wants the help. Our youth team then has work-based industry, OJTs, the industry work-based experiences. So I'll go into all of that in a little bit more. But our virtual services, so we have lots of, during COVID, we restructured all of our programs to make sure that we could provide them virtual. We still do quite a bit in person. We do even classes in person if need be, but we do use Teams, and we have all of our classes there. So we're doing adult classes for work readiness, youth work readiness, self-advocacy, those career camps we're doing quite a bit online. And then the psychological and vocational evaluations. And we also do benefit planning for folks that are on SSA, or SSI, SSDI, and want to report to show what that looks like if they start working. And then our adult team, they're out there, basically performing or really doing the analysis for each person as far as looking at their job goals, looking at different potential employers in their area that may be a good fit. They're helping with the applications, with their resumes, and then really mostly with follow-up. They're picking them up right from their homes and driving around the places that we applied to, try to get in front of as many employers that we can that look like that find the right fit for them. That's really the most important part, is finding the right match. Who's the best, who's a supervisor that's a good match for their personality and their, what's going to be a good atmosphere for them, what's, the job that's going to work out for them. So they're keeping, we have a structure that keeps our field staff with our customers out in the field as much as possible. We've got a pretty good sized support team that takes away a lot of the administrative side so that they can work with clients. But they're doing, again, the vocational psychological evaluations, pre-employment classes, job placement, and coaching. And then also for adults, we do have OJT options whenever the vocational rehabilitation counselor requests it. So we can do that as well. And then for our youth, we are providing a multitude of experiences to prepare the students for the workforce. I know most of you are probably pretty familiar with vocational rehabilitation services, but any student with an IEP or 504 that is in school and under the age of 22 and over 14 qualifies for this program. So that's a lot of students out there that could take advantage of this. A lot of them don't know about it, so we don't have everybody in it, but there's a really great opportunity for them to get vocational and psychological evaluations, of course. The work readiness training, again, that's really kind of giving them an idea of what work is like. Do kind of some, like, a lot of role playing, conflict resolution skills, but also, they often, at least before COVID, we were doing field trips to kind of take tours of different businesses and see what those different work opportunities were like out there. But they do the self-advocacy workshops again. And then the career camps, of course, those are a real big highlight. A lot of students really like those. And then the work-based learning experiences are the OJTs. So one of the things that we started doing a few years back in order to bring multitude of businesses together in a industry that, in a particular industry, to entice students who may be interested in an industry to participate and go out and work, is what's called a community internship project and also industry-based career exploration. So this model is organized where we'll generally get involved with an industry association or group that is involved with multiple businesses in the industry, and get the association involved as well to try to help connect us to a lot of those businesses. And what we'll do is create a project out of it. We'll actually include usually some sort of industry certification. Quite often our organization will pay for those. Sometimes there's a grant, or sometimes the association may want to get involved in helping with the cost. But there'll be on-site training and mentoring by those host businesses. So we really paint a picture of what that's like. The businesses, of course, I'll interview each of the participants that may be interested, but the students are going to come away with some real specific trade related skills, as well as lots of soft skills out of it. And then it really gives them a really great insight of what that industry may be like. So again, we partner with a variety of different industry specific associations to offer those vocational training internship opportunities. The OJTs that they're doing includes, what we do is we match them up with the business partners based on their travel radius and based on what's going to be a good fit for them as well. We have job coaches, of course, that are supporting the customers through the process, through the interviewing to the mentorship, worksite mentorship. Each of those experiences are generally 6 to 8 weeks. During the summer, we try to at least get 2 experiences in for each student, be it maybe 2 different businesses in that industry, or one experience or 2 experiences in the same business, potentially, if they're different experience, different skills that they're gaining, or it could be that they do one in one industry and then one in another. But however, on the job trainings, they earn $11 an hour. And we pay them every 2 weeks. They clock in and out to their phone. Our coach basically helps them and mentors them throughout the whole process. And ideas that they can do multiple experiences, gaining all kinds of soft skills, but lots of transferable skills, something to add to their resume. And like I said before, quite often we can add in an industry certification on top of that that'll give them a really good running start to determine if that's what they want to do. So they're gaining skills, they're potentially getting certified, and then hopefully learning a new path. A lot of students obviously don't, get all that type of insight of what all the different industries are like when they're not involved in some type of program like this. So there's really quite a bit of benefit, and we see a lot of growth, a lot of confidence building, and it really is great for the students. So I'm going to play you one more video. It's a shortened video. It's hospitality and construction. It shows two different programs that we did. We generally have hospitality, we have construction, and we have manufacturing projects throughout the state. So we've had pretty good success in Brevard County with manufacturing and construction. Those are probably our longest running projects, but we have duplicated construction in Volusia as well as North Florida, up in like the Duval County. And then hospitality has mainly been in Volusia and Orange County right now. So this is a Volusia County video that we mixed hospitality and construction with. So.
This program helps people get into the workforce, and that's the key. We want more people to get into the workforce at an early age, and hopefully finding something they really like they can do all their life.
It's basically my first job I've ever had, so I have to make sure it's good and it's perfect.
We're not babysitting. We're able to actually give them some job tasks, let them go for it, and it works out really, really well.
They're excited to come in, they're engaged. Actually, Karina's going to be joining us for another training rotation in one of our other departments, and Gavin's been staying on board. We actually brought him on as direct hire, so the program has been successful.
My first weekend working here on Saturday, it was very packed and everything, but they was still by my side and everything, pumping me up.
We have had nothing but a positive experience. The young folks that have come to our organization, I think have benefited from the experience they've had with us.
The students are fantastic. They are very motivated. They're excited about the opportunity, and it's a great way to keep our upcoming youth and labor force here local.
Not only does it help save on your payroll, if you're a small business, it's really just about giving back, because when you allow young people to see what it is they don't like or what they do like, then it gives them direction.
Trevor has come from down here to up here, and his confidence, his ability to see what he wanted to do.
This is really important for students to have programs like this, and I can kind of bridge the gap and help to ensure that they get opportunities when they deserve it.
It's a win-win situation. It's a win for the student or the young adult, and it's also a win for the business.
And then, so a quick little glimpse into each of those projects. So as I mentioned, the hospitality project, we started one the year before last. We didn't start really any project last year, but the year before last in hospitality. And this, is kind of our selling point to the businesses as well, letting them know that, the average OJT on the job training for each student was 40 hours. They did 30 OJTs over a quarter in that industry, which equals out to 1,200 hours. So the average hourly rate at that time was $9. We pay them $11 now, but the total amount of savings and labor costs $10,800. So it's part of our selling pitch to the businesses. They get them to maybe, if they kind of open their eyes a little more. But we had students in culinary, which hotels often have a lot of these different services. Customer service, we had a young lady working at the front desk and reception as well. They did housekeeping. Sometimes they were maybe not necessarily the housekeeper, but they were assisting the housekeepers. And then maintenance, we had actually a gentleman who came through, and he had an HVAC program that he was working in this high school, and they loved him. So he was able to learn a lot of great skills there. So, it's hospitality is a great industry to get into. We actually have a couple of hotels down in the Palm Beach area signed up with us. We do a memorandum of understanding that we make sure the business signs that says they're bought into this and fully understand. So that kind of solidifies a partnership with them. and gets them involved. And so Palm Beach is an area that we're including in our hospitality program for sure. And then our construction program, we started in Brevard on this, but it did basically expand out to Jacksonville, to Fallujah, and then we're just actually starting that this year in Orlando. But this project in Brevard had 27 students working at 11 partner sites. In the first year, by the way, we had 3 partner sites. So it usually starts off kind of small, but the second year it jumped to 11. So we basically create these videos and show them the video, then before the next summer comes around, so to let them know that there's testimonials. Other businesses are really bought into it, and it went well, and the experience was great. But each student averaged 110.71 hours over an 8-week period. So that was 2,989 hours worked at $11 an hour. So that was $32,883 in savings in labor costs. So 59% of those also earned an OSHA 10 certification, or we also did a CPR, first aid, for the folks that were actually in their second year of that program. And then we had our manufacturing program. Again, this one we did in the Space Coast, and which is real heavy in manufacturing. These projects work best in areas that are suitable for the project. So not every project is going to work in every area, but we had 12 students participating, and then they worked 12 hours per week for 16 weeks. So the total amount of hours or labor costs saved was $25,344. So, we try to put together some pretty good selling points to get more businesses to get them on board. So that's basically what's going on with us. So we're working with adults, of course, and have a very active program there, especially down to Palm Beach County. We've got a wonderful team that gets a lot of placements, and then our youth program has been gaining quite a bit of steam. Kim's been doing an awesome job down there, and there's a lot of great opportunities for the students. As I said, we'll work with anybody that wants to work. Our partner is vocational rehabilitation, so we help people get through that process if they're not sure or want more information or just want some help with the application and getting through. We can definitely do that and keep them informed and updated, and give them kind of work as a liaison for them through that to make sure that they actually get services and get to us. So if anybody wants to go to our website at employU.org, contact us. There's sections there that you could refer somebody to us, or you could fill out the form there yourself. Somebody can always call our offices. We're open from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. having somebody answer the phone at that number there. And then our info at employU.org, that goes to our relationship management team, the Samantha and Jen there, and they get back to the person pretty quickly to let them know, whatever they need to know, and help them with the VR application if that's needed. And then my information's on here. I'm very accessible as well. If anybody ever wants to reach out and ask me any questions, feel free. I take calls.
Does anybody have any questions for Keith? Thank you so much, Keith. That was great.
Thank you.
Larry said most impressive. I agree. And I like how you're thoughtful about the industries that you choose based on the area and the need and the jobs in that county or in that area. So are you looking to expand, adding any additional industries based on COVID or just recent times?
Retail was something that was gaining steam quite a bit before COVID. It hasn't quite come back in the way that we had hoped. I think it probably will over time. There are still quite a few retail stores that are doing all right, but they're just, some of them are kind of slower to partner with us again. So that one is good. The attractions are one that, and there's so many of them in Florida. We like to try to, we have a couple attractions that are partnered with us now. So we're going to try to do some kind of feature with them and see if we can gain some more partners through it. But Yeah, so yeah, I mean, we're pretty open-minded. If people want to work with us, we'll make something happen. And we always try to look for opportunities to do this. I mean, like I said, the videos we do, there's, again, on our website, there's a video library. If you check that out, we have videos that are more specific to each of those industries. They really tell the tale of how it went and give all those testimonials from the business partners and then the students and then the parents and then all the different stakeholders. So it really reassures businesses who are maybe on the fence, and usually brings in more partners. So we find that that's a pretty good process for us. But yeah, we're
and kudos to your marketing team. Your videos are beautiful.
Thank you so much.
Sharon wants to know, what industries are you finding are in most demand? Sharon, do you mean the clients looking for training?
I guess either. In one respect, we want to know what the clients are looking for, but at the other end, we want to know what businesses are, you finding most placement.
Well, I know people ask that a lot, but everybody is so unique that, it's never like we can say, we're getting people placed like crazy in this one all the time, or, it's just not going to always be a good fit for everybody. Hospitality is the biggest demand right now, because I know quite a few people in the industry, and I personally participate in a lot of the associations, and they are really struggling right now. So anybody that would fit in hospitality, if that's their interest, then man, that's no problem. We can definitely get them a lot of opportunities. And the nice thing about what hospitality, because their demand is so high, that they're a lot more open-minded to maybe customizing the position, where sometimes maybe they weren't so much. You kind of had to fit the job description, or if not, they passed. Now they're like, well, maybe if you just made beds the entire time, that would help the housekeepers turn the beds over so much faster. So yeah, we're open to that. So that's been really cool. The construction industry is also hot. They've really been, they're turning down contracts, or their contracts are going so slow just because they can't get the people to work. And obviously manufacturing is pretty good too. But yeah, I'd say hospitality right now is the hot one. They're giving more opportunities than they used to. And we're definitely getting a lot of placements there.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for joining us. If you need Keith's info, Keith, you're welcome to provide your PowerPoint or any kind of information that could be helpful moving forward. Thank you so much for presenting.
My pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
All right, next up, Larry. Larry's going to talk about his HAAPE program down in the Weston, Broward County area.
Right. Well, thanks a lot. I absolutely am thrilled to be here. It's nice to be talking to people in Palm Beach, because that's a service area we have as well. Let me describe for you what we're about and the services we offer and why we do what we do. So I'm going to share my screen. And so HAAPE stands for Helping Adults with Autism Perform and Excel. We're an organization that is primarily focused on people with autism, although many of the things we do are quite applicable to other people with neurodiversities. And so our programs may embrace all of them. The reason that we focus on employment is very straightforward for us. Autism right now represents about 1 in 50 births. That's grown by 300% in the last 10 years. 80 to 90% of people with autism are unemployed or underemployed. And the reason they're unemployed or underemployed primarily are stigma reasons as opposed to capability reasons, because we believe that people with ASD, autism spectrum disorder, are productive, skilled, focused, reliable, forthright, loyal. Several large employers do have initiatives such as JP Morgan Chase, and they've hired in excess of 250 people around the world, and they report that the productivity of the people with autism in particular, that's what their focus is in the range of 40 to 140% greater than their neurotypical colleagues. So it's really quite impressive. And when you add to that some of the tax benefits, it becomes a really compelling story. So how do we work? We really do three things well, I would say. We create programs, we fund programs, and we sustain programs. In other words, we're a foundation that is a funder, a creator, and then we make sure things work. And we find partners who are best in class to operate our programs. So by creating programs, we are looking specifically for career paths. We're looking for sustainable programs. We're looking at a capability where there's a demand for the kind of things we're training. We're looking for organizations that are autism friendly and who are willing to partner with us. Our funding comes from mostly individual contributors, although we do have some foundation funding, some corporate funding, and some partner funding. And by sustaining employment, we just don't turn the program over to somebody. We actually create an advisory board with them. We participate and we continuously improve what they're doing and provide funding support. And I'll give you some specifics in a moment. And so in order to do what we're doing, we've created a network. We think of ourselves as a hub. If you look at some of the logos here, you see some organizations that are extraordinarily well known, such as Stanford. We are partnered with the Stanford Neurodiversity Project. In fact, the head of that project, a fellow named Lawrence Fung, is on our board of directors because he thought what we're doing is that significant. You see a logo for BDI, Bobby Dodd Institute. What we've created in South Florida seems to be so appealing that we have created something called social licensing. Much like Starbucks licenses its coffee shops, we want to license what the programs that we're doing. Our two largest partners, our two most significant partners, are the University of Miami Nova Southeastern University Center of Autism and Related Disability, UMNSU CARD. They provide us with certifications for autism friendly of the programs that we do. And they're also a provider somewhat of candidates for our programs. Our launch partner was United Community Options, which used to be called Cerebral Palsy. They are operating now our Spectrum Tech Center, and I'll talk to you in a few moments about that. And we are community partners with both Broward College and with Nova Southeastern University. In the case of Broward College, we have two programs with them. I'll describe those for you. One of them is avionics repair certification. It's the first in the country, probably the first in the world, where people with autism can be certified to do a repair. And the second, which is probably the most exciting program we have, in concert with the Center for Supply Chain Education at Broward College, is a supply chain and logistics program. So our view of employment is looking from the outside in, and the case we make is that this is not a mission-based issue. This is a productivity business-based issue. So there's data that suggests that companies that hire people with disabilities in general have higher net incomes and higher net profit margins because the people tend to be more productive, more loyal. As I mentioned to you, JP Morgan has found the productivity to be incredible. And it turns out that consumers of the products also believe that companies who are involved in hiring people with disabilities are far more favorable to an extraordinary extent, 92% in one of the national surveys. So we've got three major programs that we've created and are in operation today. Our first one, as I mentioned, is our online supply chain and logistics certification program. Now, many of us during COVID took for granted that Amazon could deliver products in a day or two, or that Publix would have the food and other things that we need in place, or that UPS or FedEx would be able to deliver our packages from other stores in a very timely fashion. The complexity of what goes on behind that is extraordinary. And in fact, we partnered with Broward College and the Institute for Supply Chain Management to create an autism-friendly certification program in 8 different disciplines of supply chain. Now, what becomes interesting about this is not only are these all in-demand skills and where there are jobs waiting, but there is no requirement for entrance. So it's a Broward College administered program, but there is no limitation. You could be 12 years old and join this program. You could be 100 years old. You could be in China. You could be in Europe. It doesn't really matter. The beauty of this thing is that it's a 25 to 30 hour per certification self-paced program. Now, we encountered a problem right away that many people with autism are quite literal. So if we say you have up to a year to do it, they will start their 25 to 30 hour certification at the end of the year. So we put in place some guidelines and some suggested pacing that they could do so they would get finished with each of the certifications in a timely manner. The second thing that is incredibly amazing is that the cost per certification is extraordinary. It's $200 per certification. And we as an organization will supplement that if people are in financial distress. So we will help pay the $200 per certification. Typically, people who enter this will take 1 or 2 or 3 of the certifications. So we're talking about anywhere from $200 to $600 for for 3 certifications. And when they finish, they take a national exam. It's a nationally recognized certification. So they are extraordinarily desirable for employment. Our second program was really our launch program that we did with United Community Options, and it's probably the one that's the most sexy. We labeled this thing Spectrum Tech, and Spectrum Tech teaches people how to be software testers, quality assurance testers, ADA website compliance testers, and they can become trusted testers, which is another certification. The Spectrum Tech program is 4 weeks in duration. It is all virtual at this point. We've had candidates from all over South Florida, the state of Florida, Stanford University, Georgia Tech, BDI, and people tell us that this is perhaps one of the best things ever for people on the spectrum, and for that matter, for other people with neurodiversity. And as you can see here, our program is 4 weeks long, and it's offered every other month. By the way, it has just been recently approved by Vocational Rehabilitation for reimbursement, although to date, we as HAAPE have underwritten most of the training with a $115,000 grant. Our third program, is the avionics program. And as I mentioned before, avionics are the electronics in an airplane. That would be the radar, the altimeters, the autopilot, even the video systems. And if you remember when you last flew, there was a very good chance a mechanic came on board and had a little silver box with he or she, and they walked out with another little silver box. Well, that was one of the instruments or one of the radios or one of the electronics. These electronics are extraordinarily expensive and the plane can't fly without them, so they put a replacement in. However, these items typically are in the range of $500,000 to $150,000 each, and they just don't want to throw them overboard. And what turns out is that South Florida is a center one of 3 centers in the United States that is an avionics repair hub. So we were most fortunate to have that demand already in place. So there are numbers of avionics shops around both the Fort Lauderdale and the Miami airports. And the demand for people in doing this work is extraordinary. As long as planes are flying, instruments are breaking. And if instruments are breaking, the planes can't fly. So they have to have a continuous churn about this. So in concert with UMNS UCARD and the avionics, the Aviation Institute at Broward College, we created a 3-semester autism-friendly program. And the thing that's a wonderful thing from our point of view is that at the end of this program, we're going to be able to place as many people as can graduate, and the jobs start at $18 to $20 an hour. And inside of a few years, they can go to $40 or $50 an hour. They work in a very nice laboratory environment. This is an actual picture of one of the places we visited. Air conditioned, maybe the lighting might be an issue, not very noisy. But anyway, this requires enrollment in Broward College. And then because these certification programs are so valuable in terms of finding employment, we're working with Broward College now to look at the following. You see these on the screen, to stretch it to automotive technology and repair, to marine, to do video production, graphics design, contact tracing, cybersecurity, and network management. So we'll keep you posted as this goes on, and I'm open to questions.
Wonderful. You guys are very busy, Larry, that's for sure.
We are.
Anybody have any questions for Larry about the programs? All right. And Larry, if you want to put your email and maybe the website to HAAPE down in the chat, that would be great.
Sure. I did put my email. I'll do it again.
Okay. Wonderful. All right. So next up, Linda and Lisa are both going to talk about entrepreneurship. We'll have Linda go first and then Lisa. Linda is working more with the adults and Lisa is working with younger children on entrepreneurship. So it's interesting how we can all work together on a similar industry to make sure that we train from a very young age. Linda, are you ready to present? See Linda muted there.
Muted.
There you are.
I'm back. Sorry. Oops.
That's okay.
Yeah, I'm ready. Or you could have Lisa go first, whichever one.
Rock, paper, scissors. All right, Linda, you're up. She's nodding. It doesn't matter.
Awesome. Perfect. Well, hi, everybody. As Carrie mentioned earlier, I'm actually in Colorado. So I am not a Floridaite or whatever you call yourselves, but we have had the chance to work with Unicorn and I've known Carrie for a long time. And so what we do, I'm gonna start by sharing a video too, because I think it's just gonna tell you guys why we do what we do. I also wanted to say that I thought the other two presentations were very impressive. So of course, I'm going to put a bug in your ear and say, what are you doing for those people that want to start their own businesses? So just think about it. And I will show you guys a quick video. Hopefully this will work. I haven't shared video in a while. All right.
In order to tell this story, you need to meet my brother Brent. Brent is a cool dude. He likes superhero movies, reading history books, eating pizza, and playing video games. Brent also happens to be on the autism spectrum. Just like you and I, after Brent graduated from high school, he wanted to get a job.
It wasn't easy. I applied for 10 different jobs and never even got an interview. I found a job coach who convinced a grocery store manager to hire me. I worked there for 6 months and I hated every second of it. It was loud. They called me in on my days off. I had to do something different every day. It was physically and mentally exhausting. That's when my mom helped me start a business. I wrote a book called Unintentional Humor. Then someone asked me to tell my story. I invited my sister to be in the audience.
This was my light bulb moment. I saw Brent on stage sharing his story and realized that this was his calling. And in that moment, I found my own purpose. I wanted to help people find their path. I wanted to start an organization that created opportunities. I wanted to do something to help the 85% of adults with developmental disabilities that are unemployed in the US. So, I started CelebrateEDU. I went to one of my mentors, and together we started building a curriculum to teach skills in entrepreneurship. I drove to people's homes and worked one-on-one with students testing our lessons. Then we brought our entrepreneurship program to schools and organizations. We saw how well our curriculum works, so we built another one. In the past 3 years, our entrepreneurship programs have reached 526 self-advocates in 7 states across the country. CelebrateEDU is changing lives. Our work has been supported by local and national organizations. This all started because of Brent. It will keep growing because there are millions of people just like him who also need opportunities. We believe that every person, regardless of ability or disability, should have the chance to create a meaningful life.
Was that really quiet? What is going on with my volume? I don't know
It
if
sounded
people
great.
could hear that.
And a very
You could
impressive
hear it?
video. Yes, it was perfect.
Okay, I feel like my volume was really low. It was really quiet for me. But anyway, if you missed the video, it's on our website. You can watch it there. But that's just an introduction into my family. That is my son Brent, who's on the autism spectrum, and my daughter Jenny, who is the co-founder of CelebrateEDU. We are a nonprofit, and our mission is to provide entrepreneurship opportunities and education in entrepreneurship to individuals. We started mostly focused on autism, but we work with individuals with all different types of developmental disabilities. We work with people in, we have programs, we're working in 20 states right now. Our COVID probably was a silver lining for us, because when we built our programs, we built them all online, believing that we had the best way to reach the most people. And many people didn't embrace online learning. Today, it's now the norm. So in that respect, it's actually been a pretty good thing for us as an organization. I am going to share a little bit of some slides, nothing major. Please feel free. I'll spend time answering questions at the end, or it's hard when I'm sharing my screen to see the chat. So if I don't respond to your chat, that's why. But all right, let's see. So just a quick update. Since we made that video, we now have reached over 1,200, almost, I think that number is even a little low now, close to 1,300 people with our programs. As I said, we have working with people in 20 states. We are disrupting the disability community. That's our goal. Our goal is, I heard it from Larry, I heard it from Keith, that the unemployment rate for individuals with autism or developmental disabilities is just horrible. So what you guys are doing is also extremely important. But I do know from my personal story that traditional employment was not a good fit for my son. There was all kinds of issues, but entrepreneurship has been a great fit. So in addition, whether or not someone starts a business, we believe the value of entrepreneurship education is far beyond someone starting a business. They're learning a lot of skills. This is proven statistics from ODEP and all kinds of organizations that report on the value of it. They're learning about financial literacy. They're learning communication skills. They are definitely more employable. Whether or not they start a business or not, they've learned a lot of valuable employment skills in the process, as well as self-advocacy. This is a statistic I love to share. Individuals with disabilities, and it's not always developmental, but disabilities are twice as likely to be self-employed than the general population. So the reason, there's a lot of reasons for this. Ideally, for someone with a disability, especially a developmental disability, the environment that they're in is really important. They may not do well in a crowded, loud restaurant. They may not do well sitting in a cubby at a computer all day. So the idea of self-employment is that you get to create your own work environment. So that might be working from home. That might be working in a place where you have supports. It might be a lot of different options. So along with that, you most likely have the ability to not have to get to your job. So I know for many people, transportation can be an issue. So if you get opportunity to work somewhere, but it's really far away, and you rely on public transportation or whatever, sometimes that can be an issue. There's predictability with self-employment. You know in advance what you need to do and what you're going to be doing that day. It's not surprises. And you can usually customize your schedule to be working and doing your work at the time you have the most support, and then it's the best time of day for you. The gig economy, I usually ask people to tell me if they know what this is. Maybe a lot of you guys do, but the gig economy really, really encourages self-employment. So that's the drive, the Lyft driver, but it's also the DoorDash delivery. I know one of our students, he rides his bike and he is doing meal delivery now. He only can go in whatever 20-block radius of where he lives, but he's getting, and it's one of those things where you choose when you want to work. You pick the time, the days when you're the best available. So the gig economy is a really good option for a lot of our students and people with disabilities to get work. I'm going to just share, we have over 1,200, not all of them are entrepreneurs, but these are some of our entrepreneurs. So Faison, he's in Las Vegas and he started a catering business with his mom. He does backyard barbecues. He doesn't do like fancy stuff. He just comes to the house and cooks burgers on the grill, and he's doing really well. He ended up actually turning his love for food and got a job at Subway. So he is doing his catering business part-time and he has a job in the community. Marielle started her business with support from the Voc Rehab System, and she has an online boutique. Luis, he's in California. He's an artist and taking filmmaking classes. Allie is a new entrepreneur that we started working with during COVID, and she lives in very, very rural Colorado, and she loves to bake, and she's doing a home baking business. She's making bars and cookies and selling them to local businesses for their staff. So she sells them to the car dealership, and they put them out for the customers and some of the local businesses that use them for their meetings. Reed's an amazing, talented musician from California. We worked with him, and Allie is from Cincinnati, Ohio, and she's an amazing artist. She's been getting so much business right now. She's just, her business is really blowing up. So it's really cool to see all these people's success. Most of these students, their stories, we have short videos on them on our website if you want to learn more about their businesses. We have quite a few different programs. We've had to make some changes during COVID. We used to do an in-person workshop. We haven't been doing those for the last year and a half, but hopefully those will be coming back. But we, all of our online classes are created specifically for people with developmental disabilities. They're all strength-based, interest-driven. So we don't tell them what to do. We ask them what their interests are, and we have them create a business idea based on what they want to do, not what someone else is telling them they should do. So it's very person-centered, it's self-directed, self-paced. We did work with 3 people through Unicorn in their summer session, or their spring, I guess it was summer session, and they got a great experience using our curriculum. They did our Spark 101 class, which is done over 2 weeks. Everything we do is short videos and online activities. We use our own learning management system we created specifically for our students so that everything they do is saved and easy to access. This is our Start a Business program that's about 8 week long. Again, the same the same format of videos, worksheets, activities that we do Zoom check-ins with them, our staff, and making sure they're understanding. At the end of this class, a student has a business canvas, which is a business plan. In Colorado, those are now being funded by VR for tier 1 funding up to $3,000. They also learn an elevator pitch and all kinds of things. We have some other programs that we offer that I didn't put in these slides. Let's see if I can figure out how to stop sharing my screen. There we go. So yeah, we have some other online classes that we teach as well, usually for someone that's going through the process. They've gone through Spark 101 or Start a Business, and now they really want to launch their business. And so we have classes on branding and website development and logo and some of that as well. But overall, our goal is to provide as many people as we can with introduction with access to the learning about entrepreneurship and self-employment, as well as getting the resources that they might need to start a business if that's what they want to do. Everything is directed to the self-advocate. We do some training for programs so that their staff can learn about the value of entrepreneurial thinking, as well as what kind of resources and tools are there to help someone that wants to launch a business. So that's what we do. We, again, we work with people all over the country. So Florida is not out of the picture. We actually are working with Unicorn right now. So that already counts. But as Florida is one of our states that we have partners. Does anyone have questions? They can either say them out loud or put them in the chat. I'm back to being able to see the chat. So.
Thanks, Linda. We'll keep an eye on the chat, see if there's questions. You could take yourself off mute if you have any questions. This is wonderful. And Linda can also put her email and the website in the chat so that you guys can follow up. And like she said, everything's individualized. So if there's, one particular person that is interested in taking classes, they'll meet and, talk to that person to see what's best for them and what classes would be most appropriate. Thank you. Great, Linda. And Linda just set the stage for Lisa. So Lisa also offers entrepreneurship education, but she works with the little guys. So it's really interesting, to think about entrepreneurship in elementary education. They're so eager to learn, right, Lisa?
Yes.
Creative. So I'm going to put you on spotlight there, and you're welcome to share. And we're very interested in what you do.
Okay, awesome. So I'd like to try to make this interactive with questions and stop points. I only have a couple slides. My background is as an educator, so the digital marketing aspect is coming. Let me just start by sharing my screen and we'll begin that way. So if I could share my screen, and I want to do
the bottom left checkbox.
Share sound, and I am looking for the tabs on top. Hold on. Hold on. I don't see, hold on. I'm gonna call my son over because he's an expert. Hold on 1 second.
We see your website, Lisa.
Okay, thank you for your patience. I appreciate that. What happens is the tabs hide underneath that, ribbon. Okay, awesome. And I don't know how, maybe I can make it smaller so you can enjoy the full, there you go, the full effect of the slide as we go. So in addition to doing the slides, I really wanted to take the opportunity to introduce myself. I'm probably new to everybody, and that's because I've been an educator for over 13 years. I have my degree in elementary education, my master's degree, and I'm certified in elementary ed, special ed. I'm also endorsed in gifted and ESOL. So I bring to the table a wide variety of educational resources, tools, experience, passion, and COVID came, and I needed to look at education in a different way for myself and for my students. So I took a look at what was the part of education that I loved doing the most. And since I had several years of experience in a STEAM environment, doing, if you will, a mock Shark Tank experience with entrepreneurship education, and it was successful for 3 years, and every year we upped the ante. So just to give you an example, in our second year, the students were only allowed to create products or businesses that they could not find on Google Patent, because our original goal, or a long-term goal, was eventually to get people involved, like you guys are speaking of, donors and all that kind of great stuff, and a panel of judges, and possibly a patent attorney who would say, wow, let's take this child and let's explore and take them to the moon. So when I had the opportunity to really think about what I wanted to do, I was fortunate enough to do some research and connect with a very well organization known as Youth Entrepreneurs. And they are a nonprofit organization, and they've been around for over 30 years. So they have a very solid curriculum and reputation. And they've only had a curriculum for middle school and high school. So when I started to network with them and be involved in their training, I said to them, well, what about elementary school? And they're like, no, elementary school students can't do that. I said, oh, yes, they can. And I've got 3 years of proof to show you that they can. And let me tell you, they will surprise you, and you will have the smile of the century, because I didn't realize how far they could go with all of this. And it doesn't have to go far. It doesn't have to end up as a business they create. It can just be that they go through the process of learning the skills, the soft skills, the collaborative skills, all the wonderful things that Linda touched on. I don't want to repeat, but they all are entrepreneurial skills. They lead to leadership, communication, presentation. And for me today, what I wanted to speak on is the value of teaching entrepreneurship at an early age to children with special needs. And the reason I wanted to focus on that is because we know from all children, they all have gifts, they all have strengths, they all have beautiful things to share. And given the right environment and the right support and the right timing, they can achieve amazing things. I'd like to also share with you that I am a mom, and I have a child who is twice exceptional. He's 14 years old. He's gifted, and he is on the spectrum. And I thank the universe every day that I was led into the field of education first before doing anything entrepreneurial, because it gave me the background. Start with my child as early as possible and give him the ability to reach his greatest potential, and then generalize that into the real world, which then now allows me to be the educator who gets to share that as value for myself, and hopefully value for many, many very, very special children. So on that note, what I'm going to do is I am going to also share a video of mine. But before I do, my slide I thought was coming, it's on its way. Our talk today is going to speak on the early advantages, the empowering from the start, and about eCubed, the program that I was privileged enough to be able to open. I am the founder and educator of the program through a educational grant with youth entrepreneurs and Vela funds. And this is my first business. However, I've been teaching entrepreneurship to elementary school kids for a number of years. And I just can't tell you that what it does for me, the kids, and everyone involved. It's a wonderful thing. But I think the next little film clip can probably express it a little better than I can. So let me go on to that. And I'm going to introduce the film clip on one of my inspirational heroes. You may know her from the Disney Heroes or Marvel episodes. Her name is Jordan Reeves. I started following her when she was about 8 or 10 years old with my students from a Scholastic magazine. And interestingly enough, her organization is a unicorn project. So it shares the name unicorn. And let's hope that I have my tab ready. Let's hope we can enjoy. It's very short. Please enjoy.
Exclusive. So hi, I'm Jen Reeves. I am the founder of Born Just Right, which is an organization trying to bridge STEM with disability and give kids access to a really cool world of design. And I'm with Jordan, who is a co-founder of Born Just Right. And we are in Austin, Texas.
Yes.
At what event?
South by Southwest.
That's right. I was probably disability world adjacent until I became a parent of a child with a disability. And as Jordan has grown up, she has become her own voice in the world of disability, advocating for herself and her peers.
I created a prosthetic arm that shoots glitter.
And if you can't see, her face is currently covered in glitter because what did you just do?
I just shot some glitter at some people and myself.
Jordan was challenged with the opportunity to become a superhero. Whoa. And if you're going to become a superhero and you have a limb difference, and Jordan has just a humerus on the left side, why not be a superhero who shoots glitter? And the why not is exactly the opportunity that kids should be able to take advantage of as kids. When you're a kid, you shouldn't hear those can'ts. You should have more opportunities to do why nots. So that's what we're doing with Project Unicorn and the Born Just Right organization.
So how it works is it uses compressed air to go through a tube, and glitter is just hanging out here, and then the compressed air shoots it out of a unicorn horn. Personally, when I think of sparkles, I think of unicorns, and also we made the prosthetic arm to shoot glitter out of a unicorn horn, so that also has something unicorny with it.
That's so unicorny.
Kids with disabilities, it's really important that they can build off of their difference to make something really cool. The kid knows what they want, and I feel like they should take the lead when they are wanting to do something.
Right, and they may not know what they want yet, so we want to give them the opportunity to learn design thinking and come up with solutions that they maybe in the back of their head said, if only. Forget that. And if there is an if only in the back of their heads, we want them to learn how to solve the if only. Now that Jordan's old enough, she's really taken ownership of the community on the side of health, but we're also trying to help encourage parents to advocate on the side of education and using the natural problem solving that comes with disability and use that as a career path. And I hope that we can use that community we're growing to also create relationships between the kids, the families, and companies that want the future superpowered STEM disability kids. These are going to be these superpowered employees of the future. I've had families reach out to me from around the world and say, you give me hope, you have a positive attitude, and you're helping me learn a positive attitude about my child's physical difference. It's an honor to be a part of disability advocacy, and I'm really honored that she's willing and wants to speak and encourage others to celebrate their difference and learn to use it as an advantage. It's a powerful time, and to be a part of it is an honor.
Visit ami.ca.
Okay, can you guys still hear me? I want to try and get back to my screen. Okay, so you can enjoy that link, and there's many others. She is my inspiration to my entrepreneur program when I started it in the classroom. I found her in a Scholastic type. I don't know if it was Scholastic. It could have been Dino Math or one of those magazines that I was allowed to use with my kids. And I just saw this little girl become a part of a group, some kind of STEM group, and they were asked to take their so-called challenge or disability and not only change it into an ability, but change it into something that made them feel like a superhero. And what was beautiful, and I didn't know because of copyright issues, the magazine took you through the pictures of the prototype and of the adjustments and of all of the design thinking elements that were involved. It brought other people involved, as all of you know. When you try to do well for others, it hopefully is contagious. She ended up having a 3D printer engineer coach her through some things. She has created since all kinds of prosthetics, not only to enable her to do things, but to enable other young people to do things they normally couldn't have done. She runs groups for kids who are half her age. They love her, they hug her, everything. She's created her own business or foundation, if you will. And I don't know about you, but she steals my heart. And when I do start this program with my students, this is not this reel in particular, but I do start it with another clip. And I kind of introduce to them what kids are capable of. And it's a clip from a show, and it has some of those famous, sharks or whatnot on them. And one of them says that, I don't know, one of them was 10 years old. And he turned around and said, "So now to all of you families out there, you have no excuse. If this 10-year-old can do this, imagine what all of you tried to do something, what would happen." And that's the message that I'm trying to bring to the world with my program, that these children need a foundation where they can feel comfortable among others who are somewhat similar to them and get those chances to be leaders, make mistakes, build things, meet people, present. I mean, there's so much research that shows no matter what, early intervention, starting early, gives exponential results. So let me continue, and then we'll see if before I go any further. I'm going to go into early advantages. So I'm just going to go to the next slide. And it's basically more or less what I just said, that it's the best time to start when you're young because you're comfortable and you're creative. Pumpkins don't have to be orange when you're little. They can be purple, they can be green, they can be anything. And creativity just happens naturally. You give kids stuff to play with, then they'll make something, or you tell them so-and-so's having a problem. Oh, how can we help him? How can we solve that world problem? Maybe we can do that. And just even those discussions are powerful. The best part to me, and I think Linda said it beautifully, it empowers or empowered to follow their future dreams. These children are empowered to follow their future dreams on a path they want to create. So what is their passion? What is their strength? Yes, I want to help them with their weaknesses. We all want to help everybody, even ourselves, with our weaknesses. But if we don't take those strengths and take those, as I say, to the moon and build that sense of success and ability and independence, and I can do it, and no more of these, why should I try? I'm going to fail. I can't. Just like that mom. Yes, you can. And we're going to find you the community to do it in and feel great while doing it. So, and the last comment I made here is kids are not afraid of failure the way we are. We get older, we're like, oh my God, I can't try that. What if I fail? What if everyone realizes I'm not, and they're not subjected to that yet. And if you train them from early on, like with the growth mindset that, hey, whenever you make a mistake, it does something to this awesome part of your brain called the amygdala. I think I'm not pronouncing it properly. I'm sure a scientist would correct me, but the portion of your brain that has neuroplasticity, and that will grow, and those dendrites will grow. And then hopefully you'll remember after a couple repetitions, maybe that's not the right way to do it. Let me iterate and try something new. And that's where my presentation will continue. So, empowering from the start. We empower by giving the children experiential self-discovery. Now, just so you know, because I may not have mentioned, I take the curriculum from youth entrepreneurs and I modify it to meet the needs of 4th and 5th grade learners. I am in the process of trying to get this next scale up grant, which would then allow me to do this K through 5. My program is online, but that does not mean that any of it is on video or anything. I mean, that could be requested and I haven't dealt with that yet, but I am the only teacher and the one-man band. So I live stream all of the classes myself. I customize, personalize, create the courses for the group of children that are the ones that I am working with. So it's a journey. It's not always a, what are they going to develop, or what business are they going to open, or are they going to become a lemonade stand, or what have you. It's the process that they go through to get there that's so meaningful, because it can only get better. So through curiosity and creativity, kids drive the direction of the program. And this whole program is innovation inspired and applied. So we have at the heart the design thinking process, and it is used from the beginning for problem solving. So when children are young and they get the practice of using that same repetitive process, that's high order thinking with peers who are not going to make them feel like they're not smart enough or they're not capable enough, and they empathize with their users, or they understand what that means, and then they empathize with them because people have empathized with me, and they define what they want to do, and they ideate and they prototype and they test. It's amazing how they look at the world completely differently than some of our young teenagers and higher who didn't get that exposure until middle school or high school. So that's really what I want to do. I want to bring it to the early communities, to the children who are neurodiverse, underserved, those who wouldn't have those opportunities super early on, so they can be our new rocket ship leaders. Students discover and learn their strengths and interests, and with proper guidance, they pursue, and please forgive my spelling, I just caught it, they pursue their passion and develop their self-confidence. So the whole point is to teach them that they are awesome and that they can create an awesome existence for themselves, their families, and bring value to others. Jordan Reeves brings value to hundreds and hundreds of other people. Some are neurodiverse and some are not. I know that learning about her has changed my life, and I'm just a teacher, or just a teacherpreneur, if you will. Let's see. Okay, so I told you I'm not in digital media. I did my best. I'm working on it, and I didn't catch a spelling error. But my company is eCubed, Elementary Entrepreneur Education. I've left you, and I'll leave this screen on for a little bit. I've left you my website along with my phone number, how I can be reached by email. And I would love at this point for everyone or anyone to ask me questions about my educational background, how I implement my program, anything or whatever you want to know, because it's much more, as everyone would say, I don't want to be the sage on the stage today and give you my presentation and have you be thinking about what you're going to have for dinner. I want to engage you, and that's what I want to do with my students. So I'm modeling what I hope to share with others. So please feel honored to be on this panel and to have been invited today. And I really would love to either hear comments or aha moments or anything that you can share that resonates with you based on my program and my presentation. And thank you for the opportunity. So is there anybody that would like to ask me something, comment on something? Please go ahead. Unmute your mics and feel comfortable.
I will just start. I love the young woman that you introduced us to, and I have bookmarked her site, the Born Just Right site. Maybe we can bring her down to South Florida since she's a fellow unicorn, huh?
I mean, you don't get more unicorny than that.
Yeah.
I know, that was pretty awesome.
Yeah. Anybody have any questions for Lisa?
I don't have a question, but I do have a comment. So when we were back in in-person conferences, and I went to the National APSE conference, which is the Association for People Supporting Employment First, the big key message that, or takeaway, was that early expectations are more, or early high expectations are more predictive of employment as adults. So when parents are given a diagnosis and then they start to diminish their expectations of what they thought might be, that's actually detrimental. So I love seeing the fact that, you know, we're starting this at an early age and showing parents what's possible, because that's going to be predictive of better outcomes later in life. So kudos to you for this.
Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate the feedback, especially coming from you. Sharon, I don't mean to refer to you by first name, but I don't know if it's Miss or Mrs. Alexander. So, but I've been following your organization and you for many, many, many years, and I did not anticipate we would connect with. I think everything happens for a reason in life, and I'm very passionate about what I do, and I've studied tremendously while I was in the classroom and during this year of COVID, while I was preparing to put this whole thing together. And I see it like a ball of silly putty. And I just wanted to stretch in directions that parents of neurodiverse kids never thought possible, whether they're pitch competitions or lemonade stands or making jewelry or painting sneakers or asking someone how they'd want their sneaker to feel or fit, and learning design thinking, whatever they take from it, learning to have personal social communications and listen and be respectful, all those things you take into the workforce and into the world. And I have to tell you from my own experience, it makes a huge difference. The earlier you start, the more time and room and flexibility you get. And you are, and I hate to say it, it's with special kids, regular kids, kids in general, there really is no normal. A lot of us have been so much a product of parents who wanted to get us tutors and do for us and not make us have to do. They enable us instead of saying, wait a minute, you want to open a business? What are you interested in? Let's think about it. Let's try it. Oh my God, there's this organization that will give you a $500 loan. Let's practice the math and see, you know, can we at least make that to give them back and have the experience, and maybe we'll make some money, or we'll learn about work ethic and responsibility. And I could talk on this forever, so I'm not going to. I'm going to let you guys continue. But thank you, Sharon. I hope my authenticity and my passion is coming through.
Absolutely.
And I hope you understand that I have the education background to support these kids, not just through entrepreneurship, through any academic. It's so interdisciplinary. It falls into math. It falls into non-fictional text. There's books. I think it's the child who, something, The Wind. He saved his whole community from famine. I mean, novel study. I mean, you can just take this everywhere. But for me, I feel like it takes someone like me who believes in it and has lived it with their own kids that knows what can really happen. And forgive me, I mentioned my own, I'm gonna get emotional. But please, I really would love to hear what else you have to say.
Lisa, if there's a parent or a family interested in something like this, especially over the summer,
yes,
what would it look like maybe if a child is interested in working with you?
Forgive me. Okay, so right now we're running our summer programs, and I think of them as getting a taste of. I don't think of them as what I would normally do in the fall if I was being asked to do something a little bit more academically intensive, because summer and camp should be fun and it should be a little bit more relaxed. It is a live stream course, so it is doing things with other friends and adults afterwards. You know, it all was created during COVID. It gives me a large reach, which is also a phenomenal, opportunity. But the way it's set up is it's set up in 2-week increments, and they can get all the information on my website. And again, it's the journey. If they end up doing all 3 sessions and want to get involved in a pitch competition, fabulous. They want assistance in opening an e-commerce store, let's go for it. They want to do it with the whole group and do one big thing, so they're not. It all depends on who my students are and the needs of the families, and I will cater to them. So that's kind of one of the main things that I want to communicate, that when I was in the schools, I couldn't do certain things. I couldn't find the patent attorney to sit on my panel. They brought me the mayor, they brought me the city commissioner. It was very cool. But now that I feel like it's my business, and they're always my kids, but they're my kids and my families. And if I see or they see a need for something and I can make it happen and it's going to benefit them, well, now I'm the founder and I can do that. So that's like empowering to me. So that's something that I hope will grow and will be contagious. And yes, I do have summer camp programs. You can contact me, my website. I have summer camp scholarships still available. Please follow the form and email me about those if those are needed. And, I'm looking forward to hopefully in some time in the future, working with Unicorn and possibly planning some type of program, whether it be as a enrichment, as a portion of something. I really don't know what a model of it would look like, but I think it would be awesome. So my website has all my contacts, all my details, and you can always feel free to call or email me, ask me anything you want. This for me is, they say, find something you love to do and you'll always enjoy work. Well, I finally found it. I just now need to make it happen. Anything else? Is Linda still on the call? Or is she gone? Because I was curious to hear what she thought about starting early. I don't know if she's left.
I think she may have had to hop off.
That's okay. That's okay.
I should definitely connect offline for sure. I think
sounds wonderful. Sounds wonderful. And if there's any parents or anybody else who wants to comment or ask me anything, whether it be about my education, my experience, my program, the nonprofit I'm connected with, I'm pretty all open to anything you'd like to know. And yes, I'm sorry, Carrie.
It's okay. I just saw Jennifer pop on. I know Jennifer wants to remind everybody, if you offer a service or a program, right, Jennifer, in the Palm Beach County area, to please register with 211. How do they go about doing that, Jennifer?
I just sent all the presenters a email. So it'll say, sign up for the 211 database, which then links with the SNAC database, our virtual hub, which Carrie can tell you more about.
Yep. So another project of the Special Needs Advisory Coalition is the virtual hub. So specialneedspbc.info. Thanks, Sharon. She just put it in the chat. So that was just launched this year. And so we are eager to share that with families, providers, to bring all the resources to one place. If you click on the bottom right square, you'll see that the resource section takes you to an external page, which looks similar, but it is actually hosted by 211. And so it's integrated with all of 211's resources for the county. And so they're trying to make sure that all of us that provide resources and services are registered with that page so that families can access our wonderful programs. Thank you, Jennifer. And thank you to all of our speakers. This was wonderful. If you have any additional flyers that you want to include for the newsletter, Katie, I'm just reading your comment. Great to have 211 in the hub integrated. Yes, I agree. I agree. We don't want to recreate the wheel. So thank you for all of our presenters. And if anybody has any interest in topics for next month, I know that housing is always a popular topic. If there's any other additional topics that you all would like to learn about, we can recruit some speakers to address those topics. Does anybody have any closing statements before we adjourn? All right. Thanks. Oh, yeah, go ahead.
I just was responding to the chat because I was so involved in the communication. I didn't realize I had a message. I just wanted to let you know that this was my first time presenting for SNAC. So I wanted to tell Carrie that I really, really appreciate the opportunity and the time and the, you know, the what's the word? The understanding of what I was trying to communicate when we first met virtually. And I think this was awesome. And I wanted to let the rest of the presenters know, as a mom of a twice exceptional child, you guys are doing an awesome job. I can't even imagine how employU and HAAPE, I don't even know. I mean, I'm trying to begin my own thing. And it's like, wow, I would love to at some point chat and say and pick your brain. How did you make it happen for all these kids or young people or adults? And how did you grow and how did you provide that? Because that's what our world needs right now. And it's not just at a young age, it's at every age.
And we're so lucky to have the Special Needs Advisory Coalition for that reason. So every month we meet here, y'all are welcome to join us. You'll see the topics come out. And if it's something that you want to learn about, keep coming back. And, you know, networking is one of the fundamental reasons, you know, that SNAC is really important in our county. So great point, Lisa. And I know Larry and Keith have been doing it for a long time, so I'm sure they'd be happy to share.
That would be awesome. Awesome.
Juana,
We'll
did you have a comment?
We'll have to catch up.
Yeah. Carrie, I would like to thank you for this space, for creating this coalition. Also, as a mom of neurodiverse kids, I thank you, all the presenters over here, and I'm eager to work with you in the future. Yay!
Right. And I want to hats off to Sharon. SNAC started a while ago, and it's still long running, right? So we thank you all for joining.
Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. It was fun. Bye-bye.
Have a great evening, everyone. Stay dry.
Kudos to everything you guys do.
Bye.
You deserve it. Bye.